The final step in any workers' compensation problem process is the employee needs to return to work. Okay, that is the end goal of workers' compensation, to make the employee whole again or as close to whole as possible and have them return to work. So, your involvement in the workers' compensation process is extremely important, and that involvement can take many different forms. The most important involvement, however, begins when the treating physician releases the employee to return to work in some type of modified or light employment. It is at this time that you can make or break the system, turning an otherwise minimal claim into one of much larger proportion, requiring much greater monetary payouts. Only the employer can make a difference in the system at this point, and this can be done by developing an aggressive rehiring program, especially in the areas of light work. Such a program can result in significant savings. Conversely, failure to establish rehiring procedures will result in high payouts. Florida law strongly encourages employers to return injured workers to a previous or a modified position. Failure of an employer to return an employee to work can result in a fine to the employer. If the injured worker refuses employment that is suitable for him, compensation benefits may be discontinued. Under the amended law effective January 1st, 1994, benefits are due an injured employee with or without a work search. The only way to compensate can be stopped if you, the employer, finds a job within your organization or with another employer. It is often difficult, even for an able-bodied worker, to find employment. Accordingly, it's going to be difficult for you to locate a position other than within your organization. Prime importance, therefore, is placed upon a worker's employer to locate a job with them. The process begins when the physician releases the employee to return to work. An employee is not required to return to work until so advised. Many times, the physician advises the insurance provider or even of the employer of the return to work date, but not the employee. Therefore, written verification to the employee of a return to work must be made. Should the return to work verification by the doctor indicate limitations or restrictions, they should be specific enough to enable you to make an accurate decision as to what duty the employee is physically able to perform. Specific forms should be developed to determine exactly what the injured worker's restrictions will be. The offered job does not have to be the exact job the employee was performing at the time of the injury. Similarly, it need not be the same hours of employment. The job, however, does need to fit the physical limitations imposed by the doctor and be within the worker's vocational abilities. There may be a need to alter the job to fit the employee's abilities. You should be innovative in developing such a job, using injured employees to perform such light-duty jobs as a watchman, ticket taker, inspector, or less physically demanding positions. Light or altered duty jobs should be identified within your organization before an accident occurs. Job descriptions should be completed so there's a clear understanding as to the physical requirements of the job. This will allow the treating physician to review the exact job that is being offered and give an opinion as to the employee's ability to perform the duties and the responsibilities of that position. There should be clear understanding between the injured worker, the employer, and the employee's immediate supervisor of what the job offer entails, and in particular, the physical restrictions that will be expected. Alternate work programs are oftentimes sabotaged by an unknowing supervisor or an injured worker who exaggerates the physical requirements of the position. What has commonly been referred to as the 3 strikes you're out theory has become a valuable tool to deny benefits to that employee who really does not want to return to work. Other strikes that will be counted in the three-strike theory is if the employee is discharged for misconduct or discontinues his employment for reasons unrelated to the compensatable accident. If the injured worker is convicted of a crime that directly affects his ability to perform the activities of his usual and appropriate employment, wage loss benefits are denied. A commonly expressed reluctance on the part of the employers to return the employee to work is fear of the adverse effects on the other employees and widespread morale problems within the company. This is a particular problem if the injured worker is a troublemaker or someone with less than adequate work habits. If this is a problem, move the injured worker's job away from the other workers or change his hours of employment so that the possible problems with other employees will be minimized. In short, do anything within reason to get that worker back on the job and away from the expensive payment of workers' compensation. You can understand the difficulties in securing employment if the employee is disabled or has a pending workers' compensation claim. The opportunity for locating work under these circumstances is extremely limited, thus resulting in long payout of benefits. Finally, the employer who refuses to take an injured employee back to work risks exposure to alleged violations of American with Disabilities Act, ADA. Did the employer refuse to rehire the injured employee because he was disabled? Such disability cannot be the basis of refusing employment if the worker can perform the essential functions of the job. The Florida Department of Financial Division of Workers' Compensation website is at www.myfloridaacfo.com/we. It provides a wealth of information, some of which we have included in this presentation. This website, also under database section, subsection workers' compensation claims, allows an employer to search for past workers' compensation claim history of current and prospective employees. The website also has a proof of coverage database, which can be used to help verify contractors and subcontractors coverage, and a construction policy tracking database.